Hi, this is Dion Watts of Watts Jiu.jitsu and Muay Thai. We're going to do taking the back from north-south. I'm going to go from side control originally just to kind of give you why I go to north-south a lot of times. And although I like the north-south choke, I also like to take their back a lot of times. Alright, so if you have side control, you have a lot of attacks, a lot of things you're going to do. But I always like to tell my students that if the person's real persistent and they're getting this knee in and you don't think you can fish around, get your hand in there, or, scoop them back, then just go to north-south. It's pretty easy. You don't lose it. They don't get half guard. It's a nice position to be in. Okay? Now they're going to have different things. Sometimes their arm will be like this. Sometimes it'll be like this. Different positions. Come up here, whatever. What you need to be for this move is I'm going to grab his belt. This is pretty much the standard variation. So I want to be under his shoulders. And the more tighter I am under his shoulder, the better. I don't want to be loose out here. Like I don't want my forearms here. I want them tight. So both sides are going to be the same. Notice how he's under on this side. So I'm going to get my hand back and under on both sides. And pull my forearms in tight. Okay? So that I know if I lift a forearm, I can pick up his back. Okay? If I'm out here, it won't really pick him up the same. So it's kind of like I'm tucking my forearms in here, using my hands, the belt, kind of like a hinge to help leverage my forearms under. Okay? I stay tight so he doesn't try to bring his legs up and hook my collar. Next I'm going to do is I have my legs here. I'm going to turn one sideways like this to build a ramp so I can drag him up so I can take his back. Okay? I like to keep this pretty close to his head. It's just nice and sideways. You have to be a little flexible, I guess, to do this move. So this will be like this, but I'm going to still be sitting like this. So all I do is here, I sit up like this, and I'm kind of sitting down, ready to go. Then the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to lift up this leg like this and pick this part of his body up since my forearms are under his shoulder. Pick him up. By picking up his shoulder, it's easy to make the clearance of my shin for the beginning of that ramp. So here, pick him up, and then as I sit down, take his back. This leg will get a hook on him right off the bat. I'll get my first hook in, but I don't put my second hook in right off the bat. Reason is that's their first instinct is to try to fight the second hook. Okay? They're being pulled in. They go right to that. What I do instead is I work on getting the seatbelt or the choke set up, and then they forget about it. They're like, oh, I guess he's not putting the second hook in. They start to defend, and it's easy to put the second hook in at that time. So I'm here. He starts sneaking this knee in. I don't feel I can fight it, so I like to dive my hand in this little pocket here just to stop the hip. Go to north-south, stay under here, fight under here, make sure I have double under his arms like that, nice and tight, set up the ramp, bring my leg up, and as I pick him up, I drag him. One hook came in, that's it. My other leg is still under his back. I'm fine with that. I have his belt, I let go, and the leg that's over, I like that to be the first arm that dives over. Okay? So here, here, second arm under, and then at that point, because I'm kind of under his arm, I can stop him from stopping this leg. And I just quickly bring it out. From here, it's up to you how you finish somebody. I do like it in that order, though. It just seems to work the best. I mean, like I said, my right hook comes out, my right arm goes over, left arm goes under his arm for the seatbelt, and then I bring my left leg out at that point. That's standard. I'm going to show a variation that I do that I've never really seen anywhere, but it's just what I do if it's kind of a little bonus. So here, side control, sneaks a knee in. I don't like it. I dive my hand in, switch to north-south, grab his belt, set it up on both sides, make the ramp with my shin, pick him up, drag him, one hook's in, dive my arm over, dive my arm under, take my second hook out, set up the choke. Definitely any of my students that are watching this know this move works because I pull it all the time on people. I'm going to give another variation that I like. It's kind of like, I think of it as like the reins of a horse, okay? So everything's the same except for there's different handles you can get. In a pinch, I can grab, I sometimes will just grab like the shoulder area and use that. But what I really like is when I'm here, I'll peel his gi tight, both sides, and I'll stay low. And you have to be really tight under the armpits. Can't be loose, can't just be here. You're here and you're kind of like cranking it to where it feels like you're ratcheting this gi under his armpits, okay? Now everything else is the same, but what's nice about this, there's no escape for him that's that easy, because what will happen is when you pull them sometimes and you take their back, they like to bring your legs really high, they like to try to stop, they think if they do this big crunch, they'll stop you from getting your hooks in. And it works for 2 seconds. May work constantly if you don't know what you're doing when you're the one taking their back. But that's something you can learn to overcome as well. I mean, it's just, usually they do it for a second, and unless they have abs of steel for 3 hours, they're going to eventually settle down and you're going to take their back. So I'm here, 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 nice and tight. Same thing. Pull him, and I'm here. Now he can't use his arms the same because these are so tight under his armpits. He might do that whole crunch up thing. You know, they kind of try to come up maybe before you get the first hook. That is kind of a hassle. All right, but what's nice about these is that if he gets away, I have still a lot of control. So like, let's just say he goes this way. He gets out. If I keep these, I can sit up, pull him back. It becomes like this puppet, okay? Gets back up, maybe I don't get a hook in, he's here. I'm not worried about it. Get here. As you can see, much better than his belt. It becomes frustrating. Eventually he's going to say, okay, enough's enough. He's going to let you start getting in there. And when you get in there, go back to attacking. Anyways, that's my variations. I'm not really getting into the chokes or the triangle side of that move. But I hope it helps some people out there. This is my partner John today. Thank you very much. This is